Hello, friends, and welcome to the second episode of Baarish Sanvaad. The second episode focuses on World Toilet Day and the relevance of rainwater harvesting. With us today in Baarish Sanvaad, we have a senior public official from Pakistan, Mr. Zaheer Gadezi. Let me introduce Mr. Zaheer Gadezi. He is a SARNET member with long years of experience in public service in Pakistan. He has contributed to the planning, designing, execution, and monitoring of social development programs for developing physical infrastructure, including WASH. Welcome to Baarish Sanvaad, Mr. Gadezi, speaker for the second episode of Baarish Sanvaad. So starting off today, theme, we are focusing on World Toilet Day and the relevance of rainwater harvesting. If we look at the problem, clean and safe sanitation equals health, dignity, and well-being. But half of the world's population lack access to safe sanitation. And the situation is worse when it comes to children because according to World Toilet Organization, about 297,000 children annually die due to diarrhea, which occurs as a result of poor sanitation facilities. And half of the schools in the world lack hand washing facilities with soap and water. And in this situation, further marginalized are the girls because lack of safe and clean sanitation facilities leads girls to miss out on their education on number of days. So globally, at least 2 billion people use drinking water which is contaminated with feces. So given the problem, World Toilet Organization emphasizes the importance of investing on safe sanitation, and in their records they point out that every dollar invested in safe sanitation, there is a return of $2.5. So given this situation, with your long years of experience in the wash sector, to be able to explain impacts particularly vulnerable groups.
Thank you very much, Anushi, for inviting me to this very important topic on the occasion of World Toilet Day. Happy to hear from you, particularly from this Lanka Rainwater Harvesting Forum on this topic, on this occasion. In fact, if you, being a Muslim, I am a Muslim, and in Islam, you see, there is a saying from Prophet that half of your faith is completed if you take care of the cleanliness. Islam focuses on cleanliness. That's why for all the 5 prayers, you will see that we go for ablutions. So it impacts the sanitation and the hygiene impacts individually, locally, nationally, and internationally as well. And this is, to me, this cleanliness and the sanitation or the hygiene, this pertains to awareness. It's not matter of that people who don't have good sanitation and good hygiene, they don't have resources. If you go into the detail, perhaps you might not require that much resources as you require for water. Sanitation, it depends upon the individual household. If you go to the, even in Sri Lanka, if you go to the community to community, you will find that this community, this locality, this area is more clean as compared to that area because of, this is because of more of awareness actually, and the behavior actually. So what I would suggest that we need to promote the sanitation and hygiene through education, through awareness. So it is linked, as you were saying, definitely it links with the health, it links with your financial situation, it links with your aesthetical values as well. if you are living in a good area, clean and well sanitated area, you will be feeling happy. You will be feeling healthy. So the figures you were quoting from that more than 2 billion or 1 point something, the figure you are quoting, people are facing this sanitation issue. To me, again, I would say that it's not because of the resources. It is mostly because of their awareness. They don't have this awareness that how it is going to impact on their health or their wealth as well. You just I would quote an example. If somebody is not healthy, he cannot do work. He cannot earn for him or his family as well. So indirectly, if it is if there is a bad sanitation, bad hygiene, and because of that somebody get ill or sick, he or she would not be able to deliver his services or his abilities to earn something for him or for his families as well. So that I would, it's a this bad sanitation. This links to the diarrheal, cholera, dysentery, typhoid, intestinal worm infections, polio, and now dengue. You see the mosquito of the dengue, it breeds on the bad sanitation. If there is a ponding of water, you will get the dengue mosquitoes over there. So the cleanliness and the sanitation and the good hygiene, it is directly linked with the health and the development, and definitely the overall the impact on the society and the national and locally and national and international level, definitely.
What are your observations of vulnerable groups that you have come across who lacked sanitation facilities? How exactly it impacted their lives?
Yes, as I said, vulnerable. If you and me are not taking care of the good sanitation, we will be vulnerable. Again, I would say that it's not linked with the living standard or the financial status of the any individual. Actually, if someone is poor and if he or she can make her room, her bed, her utensils, herself, himself clean, I think he or she will not be vulnerable, he or she will not be sick, and again, it will not impact their livelihood, it will not impact their financial earning. So, and generally marginalized people, they because of their poor condition, financially poor conditions, they and the other I think aspect is the lack of education and awareness. They don't bother about these kind of things. These kind of things, the sanitation and hygiene, they think that this is a sort of secondary thing. First of all, they need food or drinking water, and they focus on that. They don't have knowledge that, okay, if the water is not of good quality because of the bad sanitation, again, if the biological condition of the water is contaminated, it is biologically contaminated, it is, if it is otherwise contaminated because of the chemicals or the industrial chemicals and that kind of things, and they are not aware of the quality of the water, how the water quality is going to affect them. And the water quality, if it is not good, that is because of the bad sanitation again. So marginalized people are more vulnerable actually as compared to the educated society, as compared to the well-off people or the communities living over there, I think.
As you explained, marginalized communities do not realize the gravity of
Yeah,
the problem because due to lack of awareness, and
lack of
then
awareness.
and for them it is neglect also. The importance of it is gets neglected due to other priorities like livelihood
Yeah.
and so on.
Yeah, they take that as a priority. They don't link that their livelihood is also linked with their good health. and their health is good, linked with their hygiene, and hygiene is linked with the sanitation again. So somehow, for example, generally I quote that if you go to the offices, the private offices or the public sector offices, you will find the bottled water. And this came into existence for last 2 3 decades actually. It was not existing before that, because with the passage of the time, everyone realized that okay, no, water is very important for our health. It is related to health, and the water quality is related to sanitation or the good and the hygiene. So now they are taking care of, and you are getting bottled water and treated water. Treatment plants are there, filtration plants are there. So this is all because of the awareness raised among the educated people. So education is directly, again, I will say that marginalized, if we focus on marginalized people for the good sanitation, the good toilet, we need to educate them. We need to raise awareness. We need to make them aware that how it is going to impact their livelihood, earnings, their health, and each and everything actually.
Having improved access to water and sanitation improves the quality of life. What were your observations? What were the changes that you noticed, like by providing safe sanitation?
And once again, I have been associated with multiple donor-funded projects like World Bank and UNICEF as well. And for 2 decades almost, I was associated with Rural Water Supply and Sanitation Project of World Bank. And during that, what we observed in Pakistan, in northern areas of Pakistan, we implemented that project, and we focused on whole of the villages. And in many villages, we got feedback from the people that once we didn't have this pipe water supply schemes system, we used to go to the open spring sources or the well sources, and particularly during the rainy seasons, monsoon season, or during March and April when we get the winter rainfalls as well. People didn't know that what happened actually. They were not aware, but we got feedback that once we received this pipe water supply system, we have reduced the diarrhea and the cholera, that kind of diseases in the villages and in these areas. And that because before this pipe water supply schemes or safe water supply schemes, they were used to go to the open wells, open water sources, which used to get contaminated because of the bad sanitation. So if we provide safe water, it will definitely improve their health. And but parallel to that, again, we have to raise the awareness actually. We, again, with the help of, I will quote that one of the bigger project, 2 years project, we implemented water quality and improvement of promotion of hygiene. Water quality improvement and promotion of hygiene. This in Urdu, it comes to Waqif. Waqif mean awareness. So we give the name of that project as Waqif. We need to raise the Waqfiyat. In Urdu, Waqfiyat mean awareness, raising of. So water quality improvement and promotion of hygiene. So under this program, we focused on sanitary inspection of all the water sources, all the water supply schemes, and then parallel to that, the establishing water quality labs, testing labs, and then raising the awareness and the training of the concerned local government and public health departments people on water quality testing. So it was a comprehensive program actually. You cannot address the sanitation in isolation actually. So you have to go in a comprehensive manner. Provision of water, awareness raising, and then definitely sanitary inspection, monitoring, and quality, providing the water quality testing labs. And it's a sort of a comprehensive, holistic approach actually you have to go in some localities actually.
Yes, talking about holistic approach to tackling the problem, I would like to ask about this year's theme, World Toilet Day theme, is making the invisible visible. So the problem is clear: contamination of groundwater sources. So in this scenario, can rainwater harvesting be an answer? If so, how?
It's very important. You have rightly pointed out. The first of all, we need to take care of that. What kind of latrines or the toilets we are building actually. What I have found during my experience that generally in the rural areas, in the what I would say that the areas where the in the marginalized areas or the underdeveloped areas, countries, you see that very simple latrines are built. You dug a hole and then you say that okay, we have constructed latrine, but that results in the groundwater contamination. Actually, ultimately, we do not construct the proper septic tanks which digest all the dangerous, what you would say that the the material or the biological condition which is harmful for the health actually, for the contamination. So generally in the poor areas and the underdeveloped countries, people go for low cost latrines. These low cost latrines result in the groundwater contamination. In that case, and if you go into the Bangladesh, there most of the groundwater sources are arsenic. Arsenic was one of the contaminants. So that's why what I'd suggest, if we have the rainfall, good rainfalls, or whatsoever rainfall is there, we can do utilize this rainwater as one of the best source for drinking water, particularly drinking water, because drinking water is related to your health. For drinking, you need safe water, and for cleanliness, you need little bit clean water. A biological contaminated water can be used for cleanliness, for washing, bathing, etc. You can utilize that, but that water cannot be utilized for drinking, and drinking is related to directly to your health if it is contaminated. So whereas the rainwater is the purest form of water, and you can utilize that, I think the rooftop rainwater harvesting can be one of the best option in case your groundwater are contaminated in that area.
So there is hope towards making the SDG Goal 6 a reality with bringing rainwater harvesting into the picture.
Why not? Yes, you are very much right. That is a sort of supplementing uh, option actually. Rain is, by the way, rain is the primary source of all water sources. So if it is not raining, you will not be finding any any water source, whether it is groundwater, whether it is river, whether it is spring. It all comes from the rain actually. So why not to utilize the rain in the best manner?
Yes, so thank you very much for the thoughtful observations and insights, Mr. Gadesi.
You're welcome.
Thank you then.
Thank you very much.